Be seated. Military guests, please uncover. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Eric Doyle.
Thank you, Kaz. Squadron, please stand at ease. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our guest speaker today, Captain Thomas Trimdown. He is from Florence, New Jersey, a Naval Academy graduate, and a three-time Top Gun instructor. He was actually the CO of Top Gun in his last tour. His resume is quite impressive. You can see it there in your program. It's right next to that really current picture of him. You can see all of the work that he has done. He was my commanding officer at Top Gun when I was there, and he inspired me to strive to new levels of greatness. You'll hear in his speech today, I'm pretty sure. He'll talk about talent, passion, and personality, and he'll define all those traits, and I learned a lot about those three traits when this man's sitting behind me. He actually wrote my first he wrote my first Blue Angel recommendation letter. That was in about 2005 when I thought it would be a good idea to apply to the Blue Angels as a junior officer. I actually had a conversation with him in Beaufort, South Carolina, when we were on the BFM net there. And as a Top Gun instructor, thinking about throwing my name in the hat for the Blue Angels, that can be a little tenuous of a conversation when your skipper is a three-time Top Gun instructor, and he might not think that's the best thing if you're going to try to leave Top Gun. But it was one of the most inspiring conversations I had with him out of the smoking Sponson in Beaufort, South Carolina. And he's a big reason I'm standing here today. He and his wife Jackie have 5 sons. One's in college right here at UWF, and the other 4 serve in the United States military, which is quite impressive. Those boys came over, we lived not too far from each other in Fountain, Nevada, and he would bring the boys over to our house, which was just a few blocks away. He'd drive them over in the truck, throw the lawnmower in the back, and they'd come and mow our grass. And we couldn't pay them. He didn't allow us to pay his boys. That was something they had to do. It was a responsibility. He was teaching them at that young age, and it was something inspirational to watch. My wife Megan and I are actually here, where we met because of Trim and Jackie, but we'll tell that story later. But without further ado, Trim down.
Done a few of these, you always carry your own speech because people tend to steal. Thanks, Popeye. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here. What an awesome venue. Sterls, where are you, Sterls? You and your staff do an outstanding job. This is without question the finest military museum in the world, and it's truly a national treasure. Thanks for what you do. And as Popeye has said, we first met 15 years ago at Top Gun when he was a first tour JO and I was essentially on my 3rd as skipper. And as he said, Jack and I are responsible for me and Megan meeting because he was nice enough to take our oldest boy to Reno to play his street hockey games one Saturday. And while he was waiting for the tournament to end, he went out with some friends and he met Megan. And now look at our wonderful family, 2 wonderful kids. And Popeye, like Dozer and I, you married one, buddy. Now, when Popeye asked me to speak a few months back, my immediate response was, absolutely, and then, are you sure, right? Because I've never been a Blue Angel. But as a matter of fact, over the years I've been asked by friends and family why I never tried out for the Blues. And my standard response has always been there are 3 main reasons. Number 1, I've had facial hair since I started API in 1985, and I'm really ugly without it, and I decided I wasn't going to shave. Number 2, I grew up in Jersey, and when I get excited, my vocabulary can get a little colorful. Matter of fact, I think there's an over and under that for this speech. But the real reason, and this is the truth, is I was way too good of a fighter pilot to be an airship pilot. Now, everybody that knows me, of course, answered we believe the first 2, but not the third. But I do have one thing, a special connection to the Blue Angels. And I doubt anyone else here has one of these. So hold on a second. I have an autographed, personalized Blue Angel action figure. And this is from Intake, and it says, "Trim, thanks for the great CBW training. Intake, your tight blue flight suit friend." I mean, it's fully articulated. I cannot like this thing. And Judge, who's not here, unfortunately, has the matching one I'm waiting for. But seriously, folks, although I have known the majority of bosses and team members over the past 3 decades, I've never had a behind-the-scenes look at the Blue Angels and how they operate. And in order to prepare for this event, I spent a couple days with the team, one with the pilots and then one with the maintenance team. And here are a few of my observations about the Blue Angels. Everything is based on a routine, a timeline, a cadence. It's all about precision. I sat in on a pilot brief and they go through the show sequence and chair fly a few maneuvers, literally closing their eyes and visualizing what they're going to do. The maintenance team does the morning turns, making sure the decks are ready to go, to include at least one, usually 2 spares. When they walk out to the jets, as you saw yesterday at that great air show, it's nothing but precision. I actually watched both shows from the Com Park with the XO out there, and where there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, I had no idea what was going on, had happened. The comms team that do the radios, the video team that films every maneuver, the MO, the XO, and the flight deck that coordinate the events. And then during the show, the interaction between the team itself, airborne, and those folks on the ground is truly amazing. Once the airplanes get back, the maintenance team fixing those jets and preparing for the next show, and then also preparing for where they're going to go on the weekend. And then I sat in on a debrief with the pilots. And in my mind, the key to our military might, what makes us the best military in the world, is we do honest debriefs. And that's no different in the Blue Angels. What was great is that Popeye starts as the boss, and goes through the things that he could have done better. And then he says, "I'll fix them all, glad to be here." How refreshing is that? If you want a team to recognize their mistakes and take ownership of them, you better be willing to do it yourself. That's leadership. But the most impressive part of my day was that not one maneuver was referred to as perfect. The highest compliment doled out by the boss was, "I thought that maneuver was pretty good." Now, having watched the show, pretty good is an understatement. And at the end, I told them all, my 2 days with the Blue Angels reminded me of what Vince Lombardi told his Green Bay Packers. "Gentlemen, we will chase perfection, and we will chase it relentlessly, knowing all the while we can never attain it, but along the way, we will catch excellence." How simple is that? Yet very difficult. So what does it take to be on one of these teams, these elite teams? What are the shared common characteristics and traits that the team members have? Because the who matters. The who matters that are on these teams. When I was on that 3rd tour, as a skipper, we decided to create a lecture about being a weapons school IP. And it was titled simply, "The Patch." And we broke it down into the following 3 qualities. The first is talent. You have to be good at what you do. Because make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this business is difficult and it's very unforgiving for those that don't have the baseline talent to operate at this level. And that's not just for the pilots. That goes for all the team members, the maintainers, the flight doc, the admin, the PAO. It is a meritocracy. Do you have the baseline ability to perform at this level? Number 2 is passion. Do you have the drive, the love of excellence, the sense of pride to dedicate yourself to the relentless pursuit of that excellence? Are you willing to put in the time and effort? Will you accept the feedback of others and make the changes needed to improve? Because this is not easy. The path at this level of performance is hard. It's like 2 days football practice in August. You gotta want it. And third, you have to have a certain personality. Are you doing it for the right reasons? You should be proud of what you do individually, but it's not about you. It's about the team. It's about being humble, having a healthy sense of self-confidence and pride, which drives your individual effort, but at the same time, realizing that your efforts impact the team, and the team is more important than any individual. So what happens when you take people with these qualities and you put them into organizations with a culture of excellence, with standards that are non-negotiable, with senior mentors that can inspire them to reach their full potential and achieve a higher level of excellence? What do? You get MARSOC Raiders, you get Top Gun, you get SEAL Dev Group, you get Delta Force, you get AVSOC PJs. And in my opinion, the finest aviation, combat aviation unit on the planet, the 160th SOAR. Early in my career, I learned from Spike and Lumpy and Pops, when you put on a light blue t-shirt, a brown name tag, and a patch on your right shoulder, people meet you, and you speak, and they listen to you. It's not Trim talking, or Popeye, or Cheap. You're speaking for top people. People are not only assessing you, they are forming an opinion about the organization. Now ratchet that up by several orders of magnitude for the Blue Angels, whose whole purpose and mission statement is to be the public face of naval aviation. They have to be on their game every day, on and off duty. They are constantly under the microscope, and they embrace that. Not only when they're doing the show, or signing autographs on the flight, but when they're visiting the high schools, hospitals, doing Make-A-Wish, veterans and wounded warrior events, the stuff that really matters, because their mission is to inspire the next generation to serve. Last year, Popeye sent me a note. The newbies are checking in tomorrow. Any ideas on what to say? I immediately put down my cigar and sent the following. Tell them this. You represent the Navy and Marine Corps to the nation. It's not about you. It's about every sailor and Marine in the fleet, from the guy and gal mopping the decks, or the sailors loading 1,000-pound bombs with hernia bars. That's right, you pick them up to go kill the enemy. To the grunt in Afghanistan carrying a 100-pound pack, fighting for our freedom. Your job is to commit to excellence so that they are proud. At Friday's show, I had the pleasure of talking to 2 of this year's newest Blue Angels. They don't know who they're talking to. Petty Officer Hill and Petty Officer Gatton said you'd be here. I hope you're up there. I asked them about the process they went through to become a Blue Angel, to get here. The application requires recommendations from their CO and their CMC. They get letters of rec, you have to submit the last 5 evals, and you have to send a full-length picture in uniform current, so you're not a little puffy. Those packets are screened, and some get an invite to come to Pensacola, work with the team for a week. Once that week is over, they don't tell you what the decision is. You go home and wait. And hopefully you get picked. But that's not the end. Selection is just the beginning. Yesterday, a few of the first-year crew chiefs told me that the newbies received their PQS, their professional sign-off. Last week, they have 90 days to do 6 months' worth of work and pass an oral exam. And then, only then, do they earn their right to wear a Blue Angel patch. Because at that point, they've earned it. And then you spend the next 3 years continuing to uphold the standards every single day. Last week I came into the museum, And I sat right there. And I looked up at that formation. And I thought, what magnificent machines in the signature blue and gold paint scheme. Look at how close they are positioned. And I imagine going 400 to 500 knots, 200 feet off the ground, 18 inches wingtip to canopy. And then I thought about what it takes to maintain those jets. The Herculean effort it takes to keep every system on the jet in top condition so that it functions as it should, when it should. Talk about trust. And not only between the pilots and the formation, but also the maintenance professionals. Because in 25 years and 4,500 hours of flying fighters, I never once turned a wrench. Not once. Every time we take the jet, we literally put our lives in the hands of the maintenance professionals that keep them flying. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the ultimate definition of trust. But if you really think about it, as you look up there, those jets are just aluminum and steel. A machine. Pretty cool machines, but machines nonetheless. They aren't really the Blue Angels. Now look beyond the jets at the sailors and Marines manning the rails. What do you see? Fresh haircuts, fresh uniforms, backs ramrod straight. What I see is America's finest. Her sons and daughters that have volunteered to serve and dedicated themselves to a higher calling, the defense of our nation. Not only that, these individuals have volunteered to hold themselves to an even higher standard of excellence, that of being the Blue Angels. So, ladies and gentlemen, they are the Blue Angels. It is their team because they have paid the price and put in the work and earned the right to wear the patch. They live and breathe a standard of excellence that few can imagine. And for all the current and former Navy and Marine Corps members, it is our team. They represent what we once did. They have carried on the legacy of excellence and service that we passed on from those who went before us to their generation. And I know every time I show, I feel immense pride in the fact that I used to do that. Maybe not exactly that, but I feel. But most importantly, for all the great American citizens, it is your team. The Blue Angels represent everything that's great about our nation. That no matter where you come from, the inner city, the Mountain West, Pacific Coast, America's heartland, or the Eastern Seaboard, with hard work, dedication, and a commitment to excellence and teamwork, you too can achieve great things. You can make a difference, and you too might be fortunate enough to put on the cloth of the nation a uniform. It has been said that in naval aviation we stand on the shoulders of giants. Nowhere is that more evident than in this building. As you walk around the museum and look at displays, read the plaques, you can feel the spirit of those giants. Names like Halsey, Boynton, O'Hara, Ford, Stockton, Thatch. And the giants that made a difference in my life. Dan Chopper Chop, Elwood Don, Razor Jack, and Barney Kelly. The ones that inspired me to seek excellence. Now, Popeye, you have stood tall on those shoulders. You and Megan have done an outstanding job leading this team. It is an honor to have been a small part of it, and I'm really excited that you're going to continue to lead from the front as a commodore. Mini Boss, G, you and Ashley will no doubt continue the tradition of excellence that makes the Blue Angels the best in the world. And I look forward to spending some time with you. In 1967, a 7-year-old boy watched the Blue Angels perform in Fayetteville, in Willow Grove, PA. That day he decided to fly jets off the aircraft carriers. 50 years later, I'm just glad to be here. Thanks.
Now present Captain Doyle with his award. Adjutant, call the squadron to attention. Will the guests and military guests please remain seated and uncovered for the presentation of the award. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Legion of Merit to Captain Eric C. Doyle, United States Navy, for service as set forth in the following. For exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service as commanding officer and flight leader of the Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron, Blue Angels, from November 2017 to November 2019. Captain Doyle led the nation's premier flight demonstration squadron through 2 highly successful airshow seasons, safely completing 750 sorties in an exceptionally challenging and unforgiving regime of high-speed, very low altitude formation flights. As flight leader, he mastered the lead position and led more than 130 flight demonstrations over 64 cities across the United States and Canada. Captain Doyle elevated the Blue Angels standardization program by streamlining the standard operating procedures to improve safety and maneuver aesthetics, as well as modifying maneuvers to reduce fatigue life expenditure during the flight demonstration. These efforts contribute significantly to extending the life of the current Hornet airframes and will benefit the future transition to the Super Hornet. His superior aeronautical skills and precise maneuver profiles ensured safe and professional flight demonstrations before millions of spectators, contributing to the recruitment and retention for the naval aviation enterprise, while showcasing the pride and professionalism of the Navy and Marine Corps team. Captain Doyle reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, D.H. Miller III, Vice Admiral of the United States Navy, Commander, Naval Air Forces, U.S. Pacific Fleet. Squadron, Hooray, West.
Wow. Trim, thank you for the kind words. I knew asking you to speak today was a risk. It was a risk. I think I lost the over-under, to be honest. You made it. That was impressive. The biggest risk, though, was following you and to speak after you, which I knew was not setting me up for success. I watched Trim give the patch in Fountain, Nevada, when he basically filled that lecture. And to see, he talked about passion, to see the passion in that man's face when he spoke about the patch, I was ready to go. Send me back to the fleet, boss, I'm ready. It was one of the best speeches, lectures I've ever seen. Trim is one of the most passionate speakers I have ever witnessed. And sir, I've followed you through gates of hell with you guys. Thank you. I've often wondered what today would be like. What would it be like to be the outgoing commanding officer of the Blue Angels? And I've thought about that a lot lately. But one thing I can tell you from a scientific aspect is time travel is indeed possible. Because 10 minutes ago, I was sitting right there where Commander Kesselring is seated right now. And it has been an incredible whirlwind tour, to say the least. But before we go any further, I'd like, could we please give a round of applause for Chief Reggie Nero for his wonderful rendition of the national anthem. As well to the Navy Region Southeast Band from Jacksonville, Florida. Chaps, thank you for your invitation and for the time and energy poured into your ministry, along with the time you spend with our command, both here in Pensacola and in El Centro. You're always a welcome presence, and I just wish I'd had more time to spend with you on your many visits. Thank you. It has been the honor of my naval career to serve as the commanding officer of the Blue Angels. To Admiral Bull, Admiral Bynum, Admiral Harris, and finally Admiral Dwyer, thank you for having the trust and confidence in me to serve as the commanding officer of this amazing organization. When I spoke 2 years ago at this podium, I really boiled it down to things, and I spoke about my friend Jeff when I was here for my interview to be a Blue Angel, back in the Radford room. And as we were going to that interview, my shoes blew out. Those that wear Bates uniform shoes know that that happens. Of course, when you have the most important interview of your life, they also blow out. So Jeff, who went before me, gave me the shoes off of his feet. And I think that is the embodiment of the thank yous that I would like to give today, because really my speech today is just about thank yous. Adam Dwyer, Cause Starkey, who is not here, thank you for your continued support. Commodores, commanding officers, Blue Angel alumni, honorees, and friends, and loved ones, thank you for taking the time to be here today. Captain Kinsella and NAS Pensacola, thank you, sir, for the support that you provide this team. Nowhere in the world can you train over an active airfield like we do, 2 days a week, and completely wreck your airfield for our hour of practice. It's incredibly important to us for our practice, and thank you for not only the support at the airfield, but the entire base. It's definitely a family here, and thank you very much. I'd also like to echo Mr. Earls and the National Naval Aviation Museum. Thank you for the time. We get to spend a lot of time in this museum over the last couple of years, and the welcome is always wonderful. To the neighbors here in Pensacola, we have some wonderful neighbors that take care of us, the Kinsellas, the Janics, the Johnsons, all local leaders on this base. And when you spend as much time away from home as I do, it's always awesome to have good friends that live next door that can come help pick up the 400-year-old tree that fell in the front yard while you're at an airship. Shifting gears for a moment, I'd like to talk about my precious family. And I'm blown away by the length and the distance that you've traveled to be here today. Kent and George, I think you're a better Blue Angel than I am. Thank you for being here. And I know that I told G that Mrs. Campbell was my best friend, and he's about to be your best friend, because I'm pretty sure he'll be on the road with y'all when I next do that. Graham Riley and Kathy, Eileen, thank you for making the long trip. It's wonderful to see you here. Mike, Heather, and the Doyle family, thank you for making the trip all the way from Colorado. Steve and Kelly, Steve has been a cornerstone of my life throughout my life, and thank you for all the knowledge and wisdom you've given me through the years. Dewey and Kathy from League City, you're always here for me. You're not actually family, but you are family. And whether it's a change of command, a graduation, a wedding, or a funeral, you're always there. And thank you so much for being here. Terrell, William, Ethan, and Isabella, love you guys. Ethan, thank you for creating the new maneuver. I hope you liked it yesterday. We flew it for you. We used to call it the fleur-de-lis, but now it's your maneuver, so thank you. Thank you for the support and love and support you've given us through the years. Even this morning, making breakfast in the house, we're running around trying to get ready for this. Thank you very much. For our parents, Mom, throughout my career, you've always been supportive and understanding of the chaotic family life that Megan, Eloise, and Brent, and I have. You've been patient, and thank you for your love and support. Dana and Kathy, thank you for your support as well, whether it be helping with a plane ticket or a car or taking over with the kids. It's been immeasurable. Matt and Eileen, thank you as well. Watching the kids, just you name it, anything we need, y'all have been there for us, and it's just been incredible. One of the cool things about a change of command is it gives you the opportunity to really say thank you to so many folks and kind of apologize a little bit. For those that have joined us in their show over the last couple of years, you've seen this as a pretty chaotic event. And you may get a chance to see a friend or a family you haven't seen in 10 years, and you get 30 seconds with them in an 8-man line or in the hotel lobby on the way out to the show. So thank you, one, for being there, and thank you for your understanding with the crazy life that we've had the last couple of years. Megan, Eloise, and Grant. It's amazing to watch you two grow up. Grant, your shoes look awesome. I I know they're a little tight, but you're growing too darn fast. I love you. Megan. Megan and I have a continuing discussion about this moment in a change of command where the spouse thanks their spouse for their support and whether or not that person would be there because of their spouse. And there's a little logic to her point. She says that all of these high caliber folks would get there anyway, whether or not there's a spouse behind them. There may be some logic to that, but we'll get back to that here in a minute. And the good news is I have a microphone, so we can't really debate on this. We'll talk later, I'm sure. When we talk, when our team talks at commits or high schools, hospitals, we remind them of the 800,000 men and women in the Navy and Marine Corps that are out there doing the mission right now. They're landing on aircraft carriers in the Persian Gulf. They're over Syria, Afghanistan, you name it, as Trim so eloquently discussed, who we're here for. And to put her on the spot a little bit, Megan doesn't like to be put out in front here, but like we represent those soldiers and sailors and Marines out there, my wife represents those spouses and families out there doing the mission for us. So maybe this isn't exactly about you, honey, but it's about everyone that you're representing. So she would say that I would be here whether or not she was around. And there might be, like I said, I might have achieved one or two of those goals, but I don't think that would be true without her. I would like to spin it a different way, though. Where would she be without me? And that may sound the wrong way, but bear with me. You probably wouldn't have been uprooted every 2 to 3 years, living out of boxes in who knows where. Probably not left alone with a 4-week-old baby while I'm deployed. Probably not left with 2 very young children when I left for a 10-month combat deployment. You probably wouldn't get a phone call from that aircraft carrier in the middle of the night after informing you of the incredibly good news that we just made the ISIS 100 kill list, and they published our address on that list. And I'm on the other side of the world, so I'm going to get a hold of the sheriff and I'll talk to you later. You probably wouldn't be so lucky to have a husband who couldn't call when we had a medical problem. I'm going to tell you a quick story here. El Centro Year 1, when it's one of the busiest and toughest times in a new boss's career, and it certainly was for me. 3 days, 15 stories a week. If you're not sleeping, you're studying, and you're flying. And Megan had a little, we'll call it a medical scare. And they did a couple tests, and she went in for the second test, and they said, well, yeah, it looks like there might be something here. Go ahead and you might want to tell your husband about it. And then she started crying. And immediately the doctor thought, oh, we've got a problem here. What's going on with this guy? She can't even tell her husband. And through her tears, she said, he's the boss of the Blue Angels, and they all understood. She didn't tell me about that. Because she's worried about me. And a quote I think about a lot when I think about my wife. It's from Bob Marley, and it's, you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. And that has been her for our entire marriage and our maiden career together. You may say that I could have got to these places, or I might have gotten here without you. I don't think that's true. I could not have got through them without you. As Trim said, you're out of my league. You give far more than I deserve. You're the real Blue Angel in this couple, and you're an amazing wife. And an amazing wife. From one family to another, our team. Our Ombudsman, Ashley Weber, thank you for your continued, never-ending support of this team. It's nonstop, and it's It's been incredible. Thank you for all you do with the CMC and keeping our sailors and Marines informed, happy, and healthy. Kaz, XO, thank you for coming back. I can't tell you what a great day it was when we got back from the flying. I don't remember what show it was, but you were there, and we're ready to go. Julia, the girls, I know it was a big sacrifice for you all as well, but we cannot thank you enough for letting him come back and support this team. CMC, I love you, man. CMC will tell you that he's not a good Blue Angel. He's, I beg to differ with that statement, but he's the best damn CMC I've ever worked with, bar none. There are a lot of days I just go sit down on his couch and close the door and vent, and he listens and gives me sage advice and he gets me back on track, and pats me on the back and sends me on my way. He's always there for me. He's always the sound and sage advice from everyone on this team. Thank you. To the MIBs, we call our senior enlisted MIBs. Their uniforms are black, so they're black. Thank you for your continued support and leadership that is so critical to this team. To the departments, operations, Biggs, Mo and maintenance, Garrett Hopkins, Chief Kinder and admin, Doc and medical, CAG and events, Dave Gardner and public affairs, Crispin and supply, and Stamp and workshop. Y'all lead some incredible sailors and Marines. You absorb every crazy idea I generate, you dominate your environment, and you achieve the impossible daily. Thank you. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about, I think, what Captain Downey talked about, and that is the real essence of this team. And like a true Top Gun instructor, like the men standing behind me, I'm not a very good speaker unless I have a PowerPoint. So we're going to help me out a little bit here, and I'm going to put a few slides. I won't have a few slides. I'm sorry, the thing's right in front of me, so I apologize. Take some notes. You see this formation above us, you may think, what are the Blue Angels about and why are we here? We performed at 64 air show sites in the last 2 years across the United States and Canada, and it's been a successful couple of years. We've flown with the Thunderbirds and the Snowbirds in a rare 3-jet demo team photo. We flew over Nellis Air Force Base and said hi to the Thunderbirds. We flew the F-22 demo team this year. Biggs, did you know I flew Raptors? We flew over Disney World. We've been over the USS Carl Vinson. Sir, that's for you. We've flown with some amazing warbirds, the B-29 and Doc. That was quite an extraordinary photo. We flew over the Hollywood, Georgia, Florida game. I want to see that there. Got that one out of order. We flew the Secretary of the Navy just last week, and we had the distinct honor of flying over our nation's capital on the 4th of July this year, which was an extraordinary event. Those are all beautiful pictures, and it was an amazing experience to get to fly those beautifully maintained airplanes. But I want to tell you about the true magic of this team. And I'm going to tell you a little story from Eau Claire, Wisconsin last year. We were there for a show in June of last year. We were in our Friday practice. We had to land a little bit early. We didn't do a walk back. And we got out of the jets so they could hit them up and start getting them to the hangar because the storm was coming in. Not only a storm, but there was tornadoes embedded in the storm, so it was pretty severe. That was the day we do Make-A-Wish, and you get to see some of the special needs children, and that is always the highlight of our weekend. During that event, while the thunderstorms were coming through, we had to cut Make-A-Wish short as well because we had to get everybody to shelter. So we're in the debrief, and it was a serious. You could feel the building rumbling from the thunder and lightning striking outside, and the tornado warning went off while we were in there. So we finished up the debrief, and I don't think we had any pretty good leaders that day, actually. We had lots of work on. And we got to the commit that evening. We got to mingle with some of the locals from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It was a very nice event. And our Blue Angel liaison, so it's the air show director for the he's basically our counterpart on deck there at Eau Claire, came up to me as the event was winding down, and he said, "Hey boss, you got it." And that doesn't normally mean good news, the way it's stated like that. He said, "I'd like to show you a picture." And he showed me this. That is our team with a little girl named Izzy. And they came out to the air show that day to watch the show and see the team fly and come to the Make-A-Wish event. Unfortunately, they were running late and the weather slowed them down, and they weren't able to make it in time for the show. But what did happen is they got there just in time for the storm. And Izzy has a very rare condition where she has to be fed through a tube, and she's had up to about 13 surgeries at this point in her life, but she has an amazing attitude. The one thing that is critical to her, though, is she can't get that tube wet. And her friends and family that were there with her came rushing out onto the flight line to find anyone who could help get them to shelter, because they're in the middle of a large field. And they ran up to one of our maintainers, Senior Gonzalez, and they swooped her up, got her in the van, and took her into the hangar. And that picture was our team showing her around, showing this neat little girl around the hangar. She had an amazing event, and she met her, as she calls it, Knight in Navy Blue Armor. That's Agent 1 Clarence Presley, who just left our team last night. He took it upon himself to take care of this little girl, show her around, and it meant the world to her. All of this happened without them telling me a thing about it. This is normal occurrences in the Blue Angels. They just took care of it. They did it. Nobody came to me and said, "Hey boss, guess what we did today?" That's just what they do. It was incredible, and there weren't many dry eyes in the event that evening. The men we have in this place, in this team, are the best I have ever seen. They do miraculous work every single day, and they have carried the Blue Angel torch with honor for 73 years. And I know the 2019 team is handing off the torch to the 2020 team, burning brighter than it ever has. Boss, I'm excited for you, man. I see your team and what you have, and I'm jealous. It's going to be incredible. I'm excited to see you lead this team with Ashley and Isla into its 75th year in an aircraft transition. I know it's going to be amazing. And some final thoughts. I'm indebted to each of you for your dedication, loyalty, commitment, and perseverance. Time and time again, you came through and delivered. After a while, it's easy to take it for granted, but you can't. You were special. Stay positive, be humble, own it, and please take it back to the crew. They need it. I am now and will forever be glad to be here. I will now read my orders.
Hey boss, hold fast. Command Master Chief Sigler would like to give you a gift from the Chief's message.
Bureau's Order number 1946, when directed by reporting senior detach in November 2019 from duty in a flying status involving flying as commanding officer of Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron and report to Commander, Naval Air Training.
I will now read my orders. Bureau's Order number 1129, when directed by reporting senior, report in November 2019 to commanding officer, Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron, for duty in flying involving flying, and status involving flying, as is related.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commander Kesselring, commanding officer, Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron.
June 21st, 1986, 2 p.m. sharp. 6 A4F Skyhawk 2s thundered down the runway and took to the skies a mission critical to the future of our nation. To demonstrate the professionalism of the Navy and Marine Corps team, and inspire a culture of excellence and service to the country through an elite, world-class flight demonstration at Fargo, North Dakota. In the crowd that summer day stood a 9-year-old Waterloo family who saw the Blue Angel demonstration for the first time. He was absolutely awestruck and equally inspired by the teamwork, patriotism, precision, and power on display on the 6 blue and gold aircraft spinning smooth overhead. Moreover, a dream of serving his country was created that day. Today, as I stand in the hallowed ground of our National Naval Aviation Museum, again alongside my family, under these 4 beautiful blue and gold A4 Skyhawks, the very same flight leader, a North Dakota native, in the crowd today that I witnessed in 1986. To say this is a surreal experience is a profound understatement. Those who know me well recognize I've already won the lottery twice in this lifetime. The first when I met my incredible wife, Ashley, and the second with the birth of my baby girl, Adam. Well, I have to tell you, this ranks probably number 3. I've been blessed in many ways in my life, but perhaps most importantly, I've been blessed with a wonderful family. Thank you for always being there and supportive of and tracing my dreams. To leaders here today that I've been so lucky to work for, I've learned much from you all and been blessed to work under your fearless, tireless, and thoughtful leadership. I look forward to thanking you each personally today. Thank you for coming. To the sunliners in the crowd today.
Who said so, Hunter?
Right on. Government, thanks for coming. Wouldn't be here without you, brother. Boss Doyle. I've found that throughout my career, teams become a reflection of their leadership. So perhaps the best way to describe the 2019 team's legacy is to talk a little bit about you. Boss, I've known you for over a dozen years. Perhaps the greatest compliment I can give you is that you are a warfighter in the truest sense. You have always went to the sound of the guns. You have never avoided tough duties, deployments, long hours of work for important cause, for creating cutting-edge tactics as a top gun instructor, to serving in frontline combat operations, to leading the Blue Angels. Throughout the last dozen years, I have looked to you as a source of inspiration, a role model both personally and professionally, and as a mentor. It's a testament to who you are. The 2019 team truly embodies your humility, work ethic, optimism, and team-first ethos. Your leadership has taken the 2019 team to the highest levels of success, as demonstrated yesterday during your final show, along with 2 bald eagles. You have no doubt reset the bar for what it means to be a Blue Angel team. I have large boots to fill. Ultimately, the time-honored tradition of the change of command is about the squadron and its personnel. Specifically, today marks the official change of the command for the Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron. The squadron is the basic unit of organization in naval aviation. To qualify as a squadron, you must simply have aircraft, personnel, directives, and a mission. The Navy can create a squadron by simply putting these components together, and there you have it, a squadron. A team, though, is something different. In the case of the Blue Angels, very different. A team is everything a squadron is, but more so. A higher form of evolution of a mere squadron. A Blue Angel team requires world-class personality and perseverance, hard work, sacrifice, and selflessness can create a team where trust will words like trust, camaraderie, dedication, and initiative take on a depth of meaning few organizations will ever know, where extraordinary levels of excellence are achieved and its members are inculcated with an ethos bent towards critical self-assessment and self-sacrifice. The 2019 team was that, as were many other Blue Angel teams. But teams are fleeting in the Blue Angels. Yesterday marked the end of the 2019 team's tenure, and as many of the extremely talented Blue Angels of that team go back to the fleet, we must rebuild and renew our team yet again. We must forge new relationships and bonds as we strive towards a common goal, to create a 2020 team worthy of the Blue Angel legacy. To do this will take nothing less than the full effort of our newbies. It will take the 100% effort of our veterans, who will be asked to take on even greater responsibility and help guide us as we fill the void of the talented personnel who just left. Each day, as every team before us has done, who has made a commitment to each other, to the mission, to achieving excellence in everything we do, to representing the Navy and Marine Corps team to the best of our abilities. If we do that, correction, only if we do that, will we become a team worthy of the Blue Angel moniker, and perhaps a better version of ourselves along the way. Our standard for 73 years has been and must always be the tireless pursuit of perfection. This will not be easy. There has been. It's worth doing for all. What a mission the Blue Angels have. We are privileged to represent the 800,000 Navy and Marine Corps members and their families, many of which are deployed all over the world right now. Sailors and Marines at this very moment are manning flight decks, navigating dangerous waters, flying night carrier landings in adverse conditions, in our foreign lands far away from home, some engaged in combat operations, in order to protect the freedoms of the citizens of the greatest country in the world. Ladies and gents, I submit the best way for us to properly pay tribute to the sacrifices of those men and women is to be an elite, world-class flight demonstration team. Admiral Nimitz thought the same back in 1946 when he created the Blue Angels, and I agree. As part of the Blue Angels, we share the legacies of true heroes, Butch Forrest, to Johnny Nagler, to Harley Hall, to Gil Root, all the way to Ross Doyle, and many others in between. We truly stand under the shoulders of 73 years of Blue Angel giants. No pressure, right? However, in the words of a great competitor, pressure is a privilege. And all 141 of us who are part of this organization are truly a privilege to do. But our journey towards becoming that world-class Blue Angel team of 2020 starts tomorrow. For today, we celebrate the accomplishments of Ross Doyle, the 2019 team, and the 72 teams before them that have upheld the highest traditions of the naval services and have handed us the baton of a world-class legacy and a reputation second to none. Admiral, Captain, Boss, ladies and gents, in the words of every Blue Angel boss that ever was, I'm glad to be here.
Coach Zyler. Will guests please rise for the benediction? Dr. Freeman will deliver the benediction.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me again for a moment of prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, we bow before you as we prepare to leave the place of ceremony and each return to our individual place of service. We pray your light upon our path, your guidance to our steps. Heavenly Father, I lift up the team and its new leadership as it goes forward. Would you keep them safe and secure and watch over their families as they support them in their service in this coming show season. We lift up the Doyle family as they step into their new chapter. Would you give them health? Would you give them your blessings as they go forward to continue to serve? And Heavenly Father, as we prepare to go forth, as we have celebrated in this safe and secure place, we would remember our brothers and our sisters on the point of the spear in harm's way at this moment. We pray you keep them safe and that you watch over their loved ones at home who wait upon them. In your heavenly name I pray. Amen.
Adjutant, call the squadron attention for the departure of the official party.
Squadron, let's put!
Captain, United States Navy, departing. Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the change command ceremony. Family and guests are invited to attend a reception on the museum USS Cabot's flight deck. XO, take charge of the day and let's start training for the 2020 season.
Blue Angel, ready, break!